Hello, everybody. Are you ready? Are you ready for 48 hours of Metroid speedrunning, the finest the Galactic Federation has to offer, the very best in the world? I know I barely am. Shoot, I need more coffee to get through this. Welcome, everybody, to the Metroid Marathon. We have, like I said, a weekend, 48 hours of non-stop Metroid speedruns, starting off today with Metroid Zero Mission, any percent, played by the man, the legend, one of the unquestionable kings, Eagle. Oh my goodness, we are literally traveling across space and time to tell you about how excited we are.
Don't mind the technical issues. No, it's fine. We know what we're doing.
We are trained professionals. But in any case, welcome everybody. We are legitimately very excited about this. Happy to bring some fantastic play to you. I'm Crunchy Lex, and with me today is...
Dragonfangs.
And
I'm
honestly,
very excited about this run.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be starting off the marathon with Metroid Zero Mission any percent run, which is a pretty good. It's a good category, but it's sort of volatile. There are a couple of places which can just destroy your run if you're not careful. But since we're watching the one of the top runners of the game, Eagle, run it, I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Most certainly not. So for those of you unfamiliar with the lingo, any percent means that Eagle's just going to be getting through the game as fast as humanly possible, which means he's going to be skipping out on E-tanks, skipping on missiles. He will have the absolute minimum he needs to survive, and he's going to be cutting it close a few times, but he just is so practiced that we have confidence that he's going to be A-okay.
And we're all. So to start off, we're going into Brinstar, which is annoyingly one of the toughest parts of the speedrun. There are a lot of precise platformings. There are several really annoying, like almost frame-perfect tricks that aren't required, but they save a fair amount of time, so you want to go for them. And there's a good chunk of RNG as well. It's just a nightmare to run.
Yeah, normally when you're doing PB attempts, Brinstar is surprisingly one of the most reset-heavy parts of the run. Thankfully, I suppose it's better that it's at the beginning as opposed to later on, but it's certainly annoying.
We're getting into the first, and I think only in this category, statue showing the way you're supposed to go. We won't be following any of them.
We will literally never be getting that item. Now look at Eagle's super tight jumps over here. One thing that's very important in Zero Mission is precise movement. Jumping higher than you need to will lose you time, because any time spent in the air is less than optimal. And those are just super tight jumps.
You saw Eagle breaking a block there too. That block does not respawn, so breaking it now helps when you need to go back to that path later in the game. In around 20 minutes, I think. 15 minutes? Yeah, 15 minutes. So coming up is the double missile, where we try to hit this boss with two missiles on the same frame. Oh, and he got it! Nice! That's a cycle at this boss and saves like 5 to 8 seconds. It's really good. Super hard to perform.
And he got the best pattern from the worm as well, and he's gotten excellent drops. Eagle's off to a really strong start.
A super strong start.
And now we're coming up onto one of the most hated rooms in the entire run, the Hive Room. Nonsense with this room is that each of the hives takes 3 missiles and 2 shots. Thankfully, there's a missile tank in here, but the count's really tight. Eagle can't afford to miss a single missile if he wants to get through here in a timely fashion.
And that's also why it's really important to get good drops in the earlier rooms to have enough missiles to do this room efficiently. But we got that out of the way, so we're good. Nice.
Super clean. That's an ideal hive room right there. Fun fact, if you didn't beat the charge worm down there, you'd fight it again over here, but we already beat it, so no problems.
I'm not sure how many energy tanks Eagle is going to pick up, but the one he just picked is the only one required for the route. Running with 1 E-tank is super scary, so I'm not sure he's going to go for that in a marathon, but we'll see later on.
I think he's probably going to go for 2.
2 seems reasonable, yeah. We'll see though.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks will have to do 3, but this is Eagle. He runs with 1 normally, so for him 2 is safety. And a very swift bomb time.
And right here we have to kill all these bugs, which there's a lot of randomness in how these bugs jump down from the ledge and how they move around. You just kind of have to pray. That was decent.
Yes, sometimes 1 or 2 bugs like to stay up there, and you just have to wait for them to come down. You can't chase them up. Normally, if you were playing this game casually, this is the part where you'd go and fight Kraid, but in any percent, and also just because this game is a lot less linear than Fusion, you can go fight Ridley first, and that is in fact exactly what Eagle's going to be doing, but he's going to just take a few detours to grab some items on the way.
To be fair, if you're playing the game casually, there are a lot of back and forth from Norfair back to Kraid and then back to Norfair again, which we won't be doing a lot of. There are a lot of hidden passages and sequence break tricks that we can use to minimize movement.
Yeah, this game was definitely designed with a lot of extra nooks and crannies and passageways you can use to go wherever you want, whenever you want, just about. And there's the charge beam. Unfortunately, the charge beam is not nearly as useful in this game as it is in other Metroids, but you still get the pseudo screw attack, and that alone makes it worth picking up.
Yeah, so if you have a fully charged beam and do a spin jump, you do essentially a charged beam worth of damage in with someone's entire hitbox. You can just jump through smaller enemies, which is really useful in a lot of parts.
Yep, and here we have a mother brain with a lizard eye, you know, just like a real brain.
Mind's eye, man.
Oh my gosh, she's opened up her chakras. We're all doomed.
We see some pseudo screw attacking in action right here.
Yeah. Good use of diagonal shots and just using pseudo screw is key to moving quickly through Norfair.
Also, in any percent, in this part specifically, we want to have a lot of missile drops. We want to be at, I don't know the cutoff numbers, but like 20-ish coming into Ice Beam, so we don't have to heal to restore our missiles.
Yeah. I mean, there's some refills that are essentially mandatory, but there are a couple where you just like, if you can avoid it, you try to, because obviously refills take time.
Refilling takes a bunch of time, and there's a long animation and having to watch all your ammo tick up slowly.
Yeah, I mean, there is a way to actually skip that, which is a frame-perfect trick involving landing Samus on an item right as it spawns. And we might see Eagle try that, because, I mean, if anyone can do it in a marathon, it's him, but we'll see.
He'll surely go for it, at least once.
Oh, I don't doubt that. I mean, I'm expecting Eagle to try to wow us with his skills a little bit today. Here we have Power Grip.
Yeah. Power Grip has a weird reason for being mandatory. There's just an enemy blocking your way until you grab it. But even if it wasn't mandatory, we probably might grab it anyway because it is really useful.
very, very useful. It's one of those things where it's, so we joke, it's in a Zero Mission Rando, it's actually, I jokingly referred to as a power grip appreciation simulator, because this game is a lot harder without the power grip.
Yeah. Randomizer is brutal, man. We'll be seeing a randomizer race later this weekend. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be hype.
Yes. There's also actually worth noting, this is the, as far as I know, the only Metroid game where you actually have access to double infinite bomb jumps, which is what you saw Eagle use to get out of that pit. The bomb blast is big enough in this game where you can actually bomb jump twice as fast vertically.
Bomb hitbox is very generous.
Yeah.
Who barely missed that missile drop, that would have been useful. See, I don't remember the exact cutoffs for when you should or should not heal, so I'm not sure if Eagle will be getting the ice beam healed or not. I think this is cutting it kind of close.
Ooh, yeah, if he can get up to 20 missiles, I think we'll have to just wait and see what he does.
I think 18's fine, but yeah, it's a judgment call for sure.
Yeah, again, it's also, like we said earlier, it's the difference between fine and are you willing to take the chance in a marathon.
Yeah.
Okay, so multiple people in chat calling me out that apparently double bomb infinite bomb jumps are Oh, looks like you were correct. He does
skip the hill.
All right. And now we're also going to skip this cutscene. This is a minute-long cutscene showing you where the Varia suit is, which we're not going
very
to.
Long.
Yeah.
Go through multiple transitions showing you where to go.
Yeah, thankfully a well-timed bomb jump will get you over that statue. And here's the shortcut that'll let us get down to Ridley. Just missile that block and take the long fall down. That movement in that little section there where he basically drops a bomb, unmorphs, and starts wall jumping is surprisingly tight. He just makes it look really easy there. Like, the movement available to you in Zero Mission is fantastic. It's just, once you get the hang of it, there's nothing you can't do, it feels like.
I haven't seen the strat he did for refilling the pipe bug. And you can see it taking kind of slow through this room because he needs the missiles to fight this boss.
Yeah.
You need 3 missiles per vine, and there are 6 vines, so 18 missiles in total.
Yeah, just take a look at how tight these missile shots are and just lining up the whipper so you can shoot this. That was a textbook fight.
That was perfect. That fight is very technically difficult. There's a lot of stuff going on. You need to be, to hit the correct cycle on the Ripper going to the right, you need to be very tight.
And hope everybody's ready.
So many subs in chat. Holy shit.
Ridley, how do you feel about all these subs in chat? Well said.
Ridley's angry.
He's angry he wasn't one of the 5 people to get a sub.
Yeah, he's sad. He also wanted to be gifted a sub, man. Oh.
Ridley, please, you can afford your own sub. Don't be greedy.
And you see Eagle also breaking a missile block there. It will stay broken until he gets back, so he can save a missile going back, which is pretty relevant. And he's going to refill here before Ridley anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, this room is actually surprisingly tough for when he's in now. These side hoppers do 40 damage on contact, and there's a lot of them in here. Ooh, oh gosh! That's bad.
It's fine.
Okay, yeah, he's fine.
Eagle's a seasoned veteran. He doesn't face him.
But that's still definitely a scary thing to happen. This room here is also pretty scary, because if you take a tumble trying to climb up that pillar, you fall down, and you have to take a super long detour. It's, what, a minute and a half to get back?
Yeah, it's rough.
But Eagle just staying cool as a cucumber, no problems, getting himself those super missiles.
We'll be taking a slight detour to grab another super missile pack before fighting Ridley.
Uh-oh, he's taking a little bit safe here.
He's playing careful, yeah, it's justifiably playing very careful right now.
Yeah, the game normally wants you to have the various suit when you're down here, and the amount of damage the enemies do shows that.
You should be fine now, though.
Yeah.
The red balls only do 16 damage, so you can take 1 hit from them, and then there shouldn't be anything else that like reasonably shouldn't hit you.
Yeah, especially with the mandatory refill to get his super count back up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
actually
really scary. You always end up on like really low health here, like every run. One mistake off from dying usually.
Yeah, honestly, especially when you're first learning this run, Ridley is actually the hardest boss, because if you don't get the setup just right, it's very conceivable that you'll just die to him, because touching him does so much damage. But Eagle knows the setup. He'll be fine.
Looks like Eagle's not picking up the safety E-tank in this room.
Nope.
It's confident.
I've seen him practice. He's got a perfect setup for this. Knows exactly when to run in. He'll be at 19 health, but he'll survive. Just like that.
Perfect fight.
It's scary, because at 19 health, just about anything in this area will kill you, but it just really will not fly down low enough to kill you, so once you get to that point, you're safe. That's definitely an impressive fight. Just
run in and spam missiles until he dies, which is such a pushover.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, if you mistime it and like one of your supers hits one of his fireballs, you would have died there. But
well, yeah, doing it with only one energy tank is really scary, and it takes a lot of practice to get it consistent.
Yep. That just tells you just how Eagle's been playing this game for a long time. He is. Fangs call him a seasoned veteran. That's almost not doing him justice. He's been playing this game for years.
He takes the second safety E-tank. I think more so as a health refill than anything else. Since having full health means he gets more missile drops, which he kind of needs.
Yes, especially heading into Turian.
It does waste a tiny amount of time grabbing that E-tank though.
Yeah, but I'll be genuinely surprised if Eagle grabs any other E-tanks.
Oh yeah, no. There's no one else on the route, so he's gonna have to take a big detour.
I think the closest one he could probably grab is the one in the ceiling in Brinstar, and even that one.
Yeah, right outside of Kraid, you can do a bomb jump.
Yeah, speaking of Kraid, that's actually where he's heading now, and that means it's time for that trick.
Alright, yes. Lovingly referred to as acid worm skip.
Yes.
It's where you're supposed to kill the acid worm as it stands, and activate the zip lines in Kraid, so you can go past a certain part and come back out for that matter. But if we do a very precise bomb jump, which we have a couple of different strats to do. I'm not sure which one Eagle uses now. I'm guessing multi-bombs, because that's the most common one.
I believe that's one is.
Yeah, to skip that, and then use a Shine Spark to get back out.
And Eagle also has the added bonus that he's been doing this long enough that he the old strat is now the backup strat, so he knows how to do that as well.
I guess calling it the old strat.
I mean, do you have any? I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, we could. I mean, the only other thing I can think to call it is really long and really inside jokey, so I'm not going to use that. So now, armed with the high jump boot and the spring ball, Eagle can move through Brinstar much more quickly.
So high jump, aside from making you jump higher, as it, the more obvious effect of it, it also makes you jump faster. Since you have, in order to reach that higher height, you get faster acceleration at the start of your jump. So even for smaller jumps, high jump saves time so like everywhere. It saves a bunch of times. Even that detour we had to take to grab it it's clearly worth it to grab still. Yeah. And also spring ball helps.
Oh yes. And here we go, down to Kraid we go. So not much to say. We're gonna be skipping most of it because of acid word skip, like Fangs was talking about, and it's in this room right here. The thing that sucks about it is if you don't know the bomb jump strat, if you miss this trick, you normally have to reset the room.
Yeah, it's like a 20-second time loss.
Oh, easy every
time.
time. Acid worm skip is free. I don't even know what I was talking about earlier.
Why are people complaining now?
I'm gonna get down here, get the unknown item, which is mandatory in order to be able to even get to Kraid.
All 3 of the mandatory items are required to get to the end of the game. So. And that'll be the 3rd one.
We're also going to see this next room is going to look pretty cool, and it's actually surprisingly challenging. You have to fire diagonal missiles down. The first one early, and the second one you can't just mash it. You have to time them in order to kill these side hoppers without having to stop.
And he just super too.
Oh, well, he only needs 2 supers.
Yeah, but using a super there instead of 2 missiles actually saves a frame on the refill.
Oh man, really?
Mr. Optimizer.
Ooh. Speaking of Optimum strats, this is Kraid. Bye, Kraid.
Kraid is a difficult fight.
He goes from being the hardest fight in 100% to being an absolute joke of a fight in any percent. The game does not expect you to have super missiles when you fight him. Look at Kraid. He's so angry he's waving his tiny T-Rex hands in the air in anger.
Oh no, Eagle. No! Eagle, please. No!
Oh!
He still got it! Wow,
he got it! He got a refill skip. What a legend.
He planted a bomb so high, but it still worked. Wow, okay.
That's the thing we were talking about.
So when the egg breaks for the item, there's a small period of time where before the actual item spawns, they have like a couple of frames. And if during those frames you end up in the hands of the statue, it starts refilling you and you grab the item at the same time, saving a couple of seconds.
And the window is extremely tight, so it's actually a very difficult trick to get.
Yes. We have a setup specifically in Speed Booster room, or like a couple of rooms. Screw Attack works as well. That the Eagle did, but he kind of screwed it up a little bit, but he got there in the end. So it's fine.
I'll have to look into that. I can't do refill glitch myself. It's not an easy trick at all.
The setup at speed isn't that terrible. Time-wise, it takes some practice, but
yeah, obviously. And now we have speed. Now we also have speed booster. Which, oh, he's going for it.
Right, just grabbing this. Right.
He's going for Brinstar Super.
This is a very tight chance spark. It's easy though, easy every time.
He makes it look so effortless. I've never been able to pull this off once.
So free.
Fangs, please, you're making me feel bad.
Eagles, I'm not doing anything. Eagles the one making you feel bad. Don't put that on me, man.
Putting collectively on both of you. Nah, I'm kidding. Brinstar Super is an interesting trick in that it's not that it actually saves time because it technically loses time, but it makes Turian a lot more safe.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of flexibility in Turian on how to use your ammo. So I think we've stopped doing Brinstar Super lately, and I know Eagle's kind of just doing it to show off. Because it's a cool chance spark. It's still useful. It doesn't lose that much time.
Yeah,
but we've stopped using it for a reason we'll get to later. But mostly it was a flexibility thing where, on average, it saved the time. Because you could either form supers or missiles at the end.
Yeah, because the thing is, in order to kill Mother Brain quickly, you need 4 super missiles. And super missiles are useful for killing Metroids, because obviously 1 super versus 5 missiles, there you go. So you want to use supers to kill the Metroids, but if you don't get any super drops, well, then you could get stuck having to fight Mother Brain taking longer. So having the extra super tank really helps Centurion.
Yes.
And looks like he is...
So now, yeah, there's a lot of ammo management going on in any percent Turian, because as we said, you need I think at least 50 missiles and 4 super missiles to even beat the Mother Brain. Oh, okay, I guess not with more recent strats, but you need a lot of ammo anyway at the end.
Yeah.
You need to manage it, make sure you don't waste too many supers. And also try to keep your missile count high.
Yep, looks like he opted to use an extra super in that room to take out the Metroids faster. Now he's at the mercy of drops. Oh. There's still plenty of Metroids left, so he should be able to get at least one more drop along the way, but
I've said it a lot in Terrain. I should get a super drop somewhere. This is statistically the right thing to do.
The game is listening. It's always listening.
And then Terrain doesn't agree with statistics.
Yeah, Terrain's like, it's a pretty nice Terrain you've been having. It'd be a shame if something were to happen. But looks like he is in pretty good shape here. Just
not gonna be too bad. He's one super short, so he's gonna need to farm a little bit.
Yeah,
which is not great, but yeah, could have been way worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, if he had the 4 supers, he could have just skipped farming entirely, because he's going to also go for a Zebetite skip here.
Oh, he got 2 super drops. Okay, wow.
Right,
he doesn't even need to do Zeb skip now. He's gonna do it anyway.
Might as well. It's such a cool trick.
If he can't do it, oh, no, Eagle.
There we go.
No.
Stupid cannon said no.
Okay. So you wanna freeze a Rinka just barely above the ground, and then plant a bomb that will make you bomb jump. But doesn't kill the Rinka. That's why he's springballing up a bit. And then you unmorph frame perfectly when the bomb unmorphs you, and you end up in a weird like hover state where you're not really touching the ground. And in that state, for some reason, you clip into the floor slightly, and then you just get to go through this other type.
Yeah, and it's extremely useful because normally the reason you have to refill during this fight is because you come in, kill 2 Zebetites, then go refill your missiles. But since Zeb Skip lets you skip 2 Zebetites, you don't need to do any refilling. And that was Mother Brain. Like I said, 4 supers makes Mother Brain pretty much a joke. And he's on his way out.
And yeah, again, if you pick up Brinstar Super and you end up at full ammo by the end, which Eagle did, you don't need to do Zeb Skip anymore because you have enough ammo to just break all the Zebs and kill Mother Brain. But I mean, we have to show off the Zeb Skip, right? It's cool new tech. You have to show it.
It is. And you don't see it in any other category because in other categories you definitely don't need to do it.
And we see it in 0%. Super useful in 0%.
That's a good point. Just like that, into the ship shaped like Samus's helmet, because she's maybe a little bit vain.
Just a bit vain. This is her like teenage years. She's like trying to prove herself. Be like, oh, look at my cool setup, matching ship and suit, dude.
Stylish. Wait, what's this?
What?
Ooh, the chase. Okay, I think she made it. You should be fine.
Oh no!
Thankfully, she had just enough time to reapply her lipstick.
Yes, during that crash, that was her first instinct. I'm like, oh no, I have to look good for the camera.
Either that, or maybe it's the future, and just that lipstick is designed to withstand all sorts of really crazy things. I don't know.
It's forever lipstick. It just never runs out.
Could be. But in any case, welcome to Suitless. This is a actually probably I'd say one of the most memorable sections in the Zero mission versus the original Metroid. So now we don't have the suit anymore. All we have is a little dinky pistol. But otherwise, Samus can move pretty much the same way she did before. She can jump high, she can wall jump, she can do all sorts of stuff.
She has a weird jump height that's between her normal jump and high jump. Regardless if you have high jump or not, it's just like this weird middle height jump.
And Eagle managing to skip the map there. Shoutouts to Scotty.
He doesn't manage to skip the health refill though. Coward. No, it's fine. So anything in this section, everything kills you in one hit. And while it's very doable to get through this section without getting hit, it's pretty scary in a marathon setting. So it's very reasonable to save.
Yeah.
Or not save, just take the health.
Yeah, absolutely. And right
Gets
there,
the tripwire skip, nice.
Yeah, very nice, very tight little wall jump there. Very cool.
That is very difficult to do.
So yeah, this entire section is just pretty much all just knowing the route through the rooms, moving through it quickly. This is also a great time to discover whether or not you have become good at single wall jumps, because there's a lot of them.
And for the record, pirates are not random. Like, nothing about pirates after the alarm is running, nothing about pirates are random. So we have ways through rooms that are like very specific based on how pirates move and stuff. So this entire section is pretty safe, but still one hit. So
yeah, I mean, basically things can, as long as nothing goes wrong, you will never get hit. But if something does go wrong, well, fast searchlights.
Nice. So that searchlight usually sees you if you just run under it like that, but there's a small window where if you time it right, you can run straight under it. The hardest part of doing that trick is just platforming fast enough to get up to the platform in time to be able to run under it. Because you have to be pretty fast to get up there in time.
Unfortunately, there's not too much else to say about Suitless, because like Fang said, there really is no randomness to it. The pirates will always be in the same places, always look the same directions. It's consistent every time if you play consistently.
I mean, then there's
hear this cool music at least.
There are some rooms that we're not quite sure why they're consistent. We just know that if we do these things, it always works. It's not really planned out. Like we watched the movement patterns of pirates. It's just like we did the rooms until we find something that did what we want, and we'll see that in a room coming up where we have the so-called Sam strat, because Sam the Digital found it. Where we do like weird part, we slow down a bit and we do like awkward, not optimal jumps in order to have the correct timing, so that the alarm is supposed to shut off at the end of this room. Because all these pirates running below Samus can see her through the floor sometimes. If you do this correctly, they don't, and the alarm shuts off because you haven't been spotted for about 8 seconds or something.
Yeah, and the fun thing about Samstra is even if you do it right, it doesn't always work, because it is literally one of those things where you're just like, oh, you try this thing and then it probably will work, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's consistent every time, but you need, like, your inputs need to be correct, and it's kind of hard to tell what those inputs are. So you just kind of do it, and it usually works.
Yep, and fun fact, that power bomb that pirate is taking, you can't actually collect that even if you were able to clip through the ceiling. And almost at the end here, just a few more rooms left, and then it's time for everybody's favorite ghost with a silly name.
First of all, we have to crawl for 2 hours.
Give or take. Well, to be fair, this room is actually pretty stressful, like the first time you play it casually. You're just kind of like, oh god, there are so many pirates.
Will they catch up? I don't know.
Well, it turns out they'll catch up if you drop your wall jumps in this room right here, as I've discovered on too many occasions. You drop this wall jump, suddenly there are 6 pirates, and they all want to hug you at once with their giant, meaty lobster claws. And there we go. That was Suitless.
That was a very solid Suitless. We'll see what Charlie has to say about that, though.
I mean, I think Charlie has to say, check out my awesome mural. I worked for hundreds of years to paint it. Do you like it?
See, I like how we talked about how Suitless doesn't really have randomness. And what we really mean is that they put all of it on this boss instead of doing the area.
Dang it, Charlie.
You just stole all of the RNG from the rest of Suitless.
And everyone look at little kid Samus. All right, so this is Charlie, or is Chozo Ghost its official name? I don't know. All I know is we call it Charlie. But it has this mirror that shows a symbol on it, and you have to shoot that symbol. If you shoot the symbol, if you shoot that mirror at any other time, it hurts you. And if you stand still, lightning strikes. Because, I don't know, because Charlie.
And if you... This is kind of complicated why, but if you shoot yourself once after hitting the glyph, it spawns faster next time.
Yeah, normally you can only do that once if you don't take the refill, which is what Eagle would normally do. But since it's a marathon and he took the refill, he can do it for every round.
Yeah.
And that was a really
very fast time.
Yeah, very nice. All right, now he's doing his little dance down here to try to break free. He got it.
Oh, I got it.
Supposed to be stuck there, but instead he is just doing his dance of his people over there.
So there's a small window, I think 2 or 3 frames, where if you turn around doing, like, there's a small animation where Samus turns towards herself, and if you just press a direction during that animation, she just actually turns around and gets out of the locking animation. You can jump around and shoot stupid shots that turn into garbled plasma spreads.
Yep, and any shots that are on screen turn to those weird blue glitches, and now Eagle has the best suit, the gravity suit. The game gives you various suit, though, because it assumes you have it, even though you don't, but it doesn't matter.
You must have it to be here.
Yeah, obviously. But it's okay, because he has now become Destroyer of Worlds, although not really, because with 2 E-tanks and a bunch of skip power-ups, Samus is actually still pretty weak, even with the gravity suit.
Like, no screw attack, no wave beam, no long beam. This area is still scary. Yeah. But it still do a chunk of damage from shooting. Well, it's not insta-death anymore, it hurts a lot.
Yeah, if you play sloppy through this section, it's still very easy to die. But sloppy is not a word I use to describe Eagle's play. He's very good at this game. So now it's just moving back through, heading backwards through a lot of the rooms we saw, and then heading up to the bridge of the ship. Thankfully, we don't even need to go get power bombs or anything like that, because we don't have to do any sort of cleanup, so it's just heading straight to the final boss.
A lot of this section is about doing space jumps optimally, which is pretty non-trivial to be honest. It's kind of like wall jumping. You don't want to do full jumps because that takes forever, but you don't want to make the jumps too short. You have to like be kind of in between, and it depends on how high you're jumping. You can like space them out a bit so you get fewer jumps and stuff. It's all pretty complicated stuff.
Yeah, interestingly enough, this game is actually a Metroid game that's actually rewards you for learning your timing rather than trying to mash. Because if you try to mash like shots, try to mash jumps, you'll be slower. Very clean through here. Oh, watch out for those black pirates. They are bad news in all forms. Those are probably the most dangerous enemy. Actually, no, they are the most dangerous enemy in this section.
I think black pirates do like less damage than red pirates.
Do they?
But they obviously have like almost infinite HP. I mean, not quite, but they have a lot of health. It's not,
they have so much health.
You don't want to fight them.
Yeah. So even though the final boss is technically coming up, which is Mecha Ridley, the true final boss is actually 2 black pirates you fight in the final room, because fighting 2 of them at once with this little health, if not for the quick kill strat we have, it would actually be legitimately.
There's a really cool trick in this room where we shoot the pirates in the door, and they're still in the animation for shooting their beam. So when you get to the point where you need the beam, you just jump over it and it destroys 2 blocks for you.
Why was I not aware of this trick? That is so cool.
You haven't seen that? It's great. I love this trick.
That is really cool. God, even after playing this game for as long as I have, I'm still discovering new things about it. This game is such a cool speedrun. I love this game.
It's one of my favorite tricks in the entire game.
But the fact that they even made it so that enemy shots can damage things, they put so much care into this game. It shows. Alright, making careful use of missiles and rolling quickly so they don't despawn to break 2 blocks. And we've made it. Past that door is Mecha Ridley.
Ridley. We'll see if Mecha Ridley decides to be a jerk this run or not.
The bigger concern actually is doing the quick kill, because it takes exactly 6 supers to kill him quickly, so Eagle can't afford to miss a single one. It's a surprisingly tight shot. You have to do a little short hop and shoot to hit that weak spot. So
yeah, so usually we wait for Mecha to swipe once. Oh, he got it really fast again.
And he gets it. Perfect.
Because after a swipe, we have enough time guaranteed to hit all the 6 missiles without Ridley blocking our shot. But only if you don't. You can also sometimes just shoot him without waiting, but you can't know. So we tend to just wait. And sometimes Ridley is really a jerk face and doesn't swipe for like 10 seconds and just stands there looking at you.
Oh God,
I've worst part of Anderson.
Oh my God, I've seen people lose PBs or even world records to Mecha really just not swiping, and it's the worst.
You're just sitting there and like, come on, dude, come on, hit me.
But with that, Eagle, this is the final countdown. Eagle is on his way out. He has to escape the ship, and that'll be the end of the game. He's on excellent pace, though. Holy cow!
He's on very good pace.
There's one last really cool trip coming up. In a couple of rooms here. The Escape Spark, as we call it.
Yeah, the new upgraded Escape Spark. What new is like 2 years old now. where we used to have to do a shine break, which is a 1 or 2 frame window depending on the subpixels. Where you get a shine speed booster and shine spark on the same frame you break a speed block. But now we run past it instead, so we break it while running, and then we have a couple of extra frames of leeway to get the spark.
And here's the Escape Spark. Look at him go. And this will carry him all the way into the final room where he has to deal with 2 black pirates in order to open the door to the escape pod. So here's the fun strat. Stand up here, and they just kind of climb up and never finish climbing.
They're trying to shoot Samus. She's obviously shooting them, so she has to be somewhere they can shoot back. That just makes sense.
Yeah, that second pirate took a little bit longer to get up here, and time is when he passes through...
Time!
Yeah, wow!
We're gonna have to save time. He runs his own time.
Almost a 38.
Almost so good. Oh yeah, almost so 39. That's really strong.
Yeah. And just like that, Eagle putting on a strong showing for the start of our marathon here. Spectacular ride. I don't know why people don't like 90%. It's such a cool category, such a nice little bite-sized run full of a lot of fun tricks from start to finish. Oh gosh, I just realized the estimate was 50 minutes. Who submitted that estimate?
50? Well, I mean, that might be like Turian being a super jerk and missing Asborn skip 5 times.
50 minutes is what I submit as my estimate for this category. What's Eagle doing with that?
10 minutes below estimate? Good job, Eagle.
What a legend. Oh my goodness. So I'm not sure if they want to let us stick around for to see the in-game timer, which I guess technically doesn't really matter because we use RTA for this game. But I'm not sure how quickly we want to jump on to the next one, because we are running pretty early.
Oh yeah, that was the first run of a very hype weekend. I hope you guys are looking forward to a lot of runs. There are a lot of cool stuff in the schedule.
Oh yes.
I see like several randomizers and multiple races. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Some ROM hacks.
And some games you don't often see in marathons, including one that we have coming up next, which is Metroid Prime Hunters. Not a very popular marathon game, but it's a really cool run, and we're going to be showing it off for you here, coming up next. I mean, I have nothing else to say, honestly, Fangs. I mean, this run speaks for itself, I think. Do you have anything?
No, Eagle did a really good job. I'm happy he got to show off all the cool stuff. And I keep in mind that this is a 39, low 39, where he picked up Brinstar Super because he thought it was cool. And then decided to, even though having enough ammo, deciding to do Zeb skip because it was cool.
Andy took the refill, and he grabbed an extra energy tank.
Probably lost like 20 seconds doing all that stuff. I still got all low 39. Eagle's a legend, man.
He really is. But I suppose that'll do it for us then. Stick around, everybody. We got a lot more coming up. Thanks for watching Zero Mission.